Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We are going to hop straight back into our No Dust No Worries budget rogue ladder climb. Now I'm quite excited to get back into things actually, because today League of Explorers launched. So today is the 13th of November, I think. And yeah, LOE launched, and I did a couple of games on my primary account to save up to buy the adventure, the first wing of the adventure, so that I could do some content on it. And I've already I was seeing a lot of you know, LOE inspired decks, or decks that included LOE inside them. So it's very it's I think whenever an expansion comes out, it's a great time to be do I weapon up? Yeah, let's weapon up. Whenever an expansion comes out, it's a great time to ladder up, because a majority of people will be excited about the new content, and they'll be trying things. They'll be trying different decks, different concepts, and generally they'll be moving away from the tried and true like net decks, secret pally, all that nonsense. And you'll generally find that the metagame slows down a fair amount. Okay, what do I want to do here?
Here we go.
I think I just weapon up again. And it's a fairly good experience laddering in the wake of an expansion or the release of an adventure. And this will happen for the next 5 or so weeks as the adventure rolls out. So I'm really looking forward to where we can take this budget deck. Which, you know, we'll not be able to use the adventure cards. That's part of the rules I set for myself. No epics, no legendaries, no adventures. But we will be able to see how this deck interacts with other classes. Okay. Just gonna face tank the armor smith. I wish my bird would shut the hell up. Anyway. As you can see, the time is 9 in the morning, so things are nice and bright outside and everyone wants to have a sing. I can't blame him, but a little annoying when I'm recording. Well, that's fine. I'm sure that he will get over it. Yeah, so for those of you who have gotten into LOE, let me know what you think. Have you had a good time with the decks? Have you had a good time with the heroic missions? So I was just thinking how I might actually approach the content. I probably won't record myself playing through the basic things just to unlock the cards, but I probably will do some heroic content, just to sort of, because I like analyzing difficult situations. I like approaching the game from an analytical perspective. The vanilla stuff, the vanilla League of Explorers stuff, you know, Blizzard usually rolls it out to be super easy. You basically have to have, like, it's basically a walkover. It's meant to be a walkover, otherwise people will complain, obviously. And is that Kraken? I think I found first. Let's see what I find. Horse Rider is fine. Hit, yep.
Here we go.
I'll use the Horse Rider here to preserve the health on my other minions, to preserve my Spellbreaker. Now we're pretty far behind on health, but we have a really strong board presence, and we have excellent turn 8 and 9 drops. So I'm quite glad that we've been able to make these changes to our decks and really push forward into the ladder. Okay, that's going to be tough. Well, it's not too bad actually. It's 3 cards. Does he have an execute? The question is, does he have an execute for the Spellbreaker? That's the question, and he doesn't, so that's fine. I will do this, and I will play the Force Tank. I will save the fan for turn 10, ideally turn 10. Yeah. So yeah, apologies again, listeners and viewers, for the obnoxious bird in the background. Ugh. I will deal with it after this game is done. And no, nothing scary. Just I put a blanket over it. I've already put a blanket over it, but there is sometimes the light filtering through the blanket. We have a curtain, and I forgot to close that curtain, and that light coming through the curtain is really distracting. No, is really getting it to be active. So I will deal with that, since this insufferable noise is very distracting. So I apologize in advance, guys. Okay, still not too bad. Okay. Don't have an answer to that Thorison. But he only has one card in hand, so it's not a big deal for me to clear the Thorison. Oh, I wish I could play the both of them. But since I can only play one, I will fan first to see what I find. Even though he gains a lot of armor. Oh, I can't weapon up either. Never mind. Okay, I will be right back actually, and I will deal with this obnoxious bird. Okay, hopefully that makes it a little bit better. For those of you who don't know, birds are diurnal animals. What does that mean? Well, it means I'm dead, but it means that they are only active at night. I mean, during the day, and they are very much reliant. Am I still dead? Hit. No, he's not. He doesn't quite have it. If I.
Here we go.
Okay, I want to hang on. They're only active when there's light, and they only actually ever do anything when there's light. If you're trying to handle a bird, and it's a delicate bird like a canary or a budgie, if you turn all the lights off and make it dark and put it in a cloth, it's actually quite calm. It doesn't actually do anything. It just thinks it's nighttime, and most birds are dormant during the night. Fortunately, it sounds like I haven't been able to clear off that sound sufficiently, but I will take a little bit more time after this game to make sure I can deal with it. Okay. I have to play the sap. I don't have to heal now. I will save my heal till next turn in favor of developing the Shadow Pan. Yeah. He can't finish me now, and if I surprise him with the heal, there's a chance, a very slim chance we can come back into the game. Okay. Is there burst? Is there burst? Warriors don't tend to have direct face burst unless they're running Gramash and weapons. And since he already swung with his weapon, we are actually in not too bad a position. So I'm definitely clearing this. I'm definitely healing to stay out of weapon range. And I'm just going to develop as many things on the board as possible. He has very few cards. They are discounted, but he can only finish me with an Arcanite Reaper or some sort of a charge minion. So we actually have stabilized. We're actually doing okay. But deck with Cruel Task probably has Gramash in it. Like, if it was a complete deck, and I would expect a rank 17 to be a complete deck. Okay, this is going to be problematic. He can just swing again. I don't think I have any taunts in this deck. Let me just draw for them. Oh no, okay, so that still works. That still works. I'm definitely healing, so I want to do that. Do I spend the backstab? Yeah, I think I do. I need to maximize damage on his face. This is really... I have to kill him as fast as possible, because I don't think he spent a second Wind Axe. If he draws a second Wind Axe, he kills me the turn following. So I need to put on as much pressure as possible and try and win as quickly as possible. It seems a little unlikely since he has so much health, but you never know what's going to happen. Okay, Brawl. Very strong warrior card, especially combined with things like Shield Slam and Execute. You can do a full clear with 2 cards. That wasn't too bad a result. That was my strongest minion, I believe. Yeah, you could arguably say the Refreshment was also was strong too, but okay, now I have to go for it. I'm going to Assassin's Blade up and start going for it. Whoops. Yeah, that was my mistake. I wasn't thinking. I missed 2 damage. I don't think ultimately it's going to make any difference. Actually, no, it may very well. Yeah, there's a second Wind Axe. These things happen. Okay. And luckily for us, the bird has shut the hell up. So, we will just hop straight into the next game. Recorded our loss. Hopefully we can make some headway into rank 17 this session. So yeah, I'd like to hear whether you guys have picked up the League of Explorers first wing, whether you bought it with gold or you dropped, I think for me it's 25 AU, 25 Australian dollars onto it. If I were doing this YouTube thing as my full-time job, I definitely would put the money in, but you know, this is something I do in my part-time. I don't have a ton of disposable income lying around, so I really can't justify dropping $25 onto a wing. Although I really would love to. If I had 25 spare dollars sitting around, I'd do it without thought. So yeah, I'd like to hear what you guys have done, how you approach it. Do you like to save up gold? I'm definitely of the opinion that I like to save up gold. Yeah, so I think I'm about 150 gold off in my primary account. Here's the Winax. It's not too bad. Winax to kill a 1-drop is always a good thing. Seems to be a lot of warriors running around, and I think that has to do with the he's got no armor, so I won't swing. I think it has to do with the new I saw it before, it was a 7/7 card. I'll put it in the show notes. A 7/7 card that summons a taunt, a 1/1 scarab taunt. I think that's what it is.
Cleanse the sun well.
Okay, I think I will just hold. I will swing now and then turn 4. Yeah, I'll swing now. Turn 4 I can swing again and then weapon up in turn 5, either with the assassins or something else. Looks like that sort of looks like what my hand is rounding out. How my hand is rounding out. Okay. Yeah, just going back onto, I don't have a ton of disposable income. It's partly also why I'm not a huge fan of Legacy of the Void costing, as you know, coming as a whole and costing $55, and also why I'm not a huge fan of. That's fine. I'll just play this again. Do I swing next turn? I may want to play the refreshment, so I don't swing. Not a huge fan of Legacy of the Void being 55. And Overwatch going full paid. I mean, that's fair enough. You know, Blizzard has put in the dev team has put in a ton of work into art assets and building the game. You know, you deserve to make money. You deserve to make a living from your hard work. I've got nothing against that. Just that me personally, I can't afford it right now. And if I could, I would. But yeah, you know, all the best to them. I was looking forward to Overwatch being free to play, but you know, it's really up to Blizzard how they monetize their franchises and so on and so forth. I think that I will. What will I do? Backstab? Backstab hit? I can afford to backstab hit. It uses my weapon charge quite efficiently, and I can throw the heal down. Now, do I want to backstab? That's not. I don't think the Armor Smith is threatening enough for me to backstab it. I really like to save backstab for high priority minions, and the Corcoran, whilst it's not high priority, it can deal a ton of damage if left alive. I mean, it sort of is high priority, sort of is, sort of not. Any charge minion that gets to hit you repeatedly is pretty high priority, depending on the sort of game plan that your opponent is showing. Okay, cool task, that's fine. I can finish that with my weapon up. Okay. Although I probably want to ogre, and once again I will save the backstab for flexibility. Not worth it. Not worth backstabbing the cruel task and then using the refreshment, in my opinion, because now I can backstab Assassin's Blade on the Turisan, and if I had spent the backstab, it would have been a lot more awkward for me. Yeah, and that's definitely what I'm doing. Also allows my ogre to go face. Oh, that was a misplay. I should have cleared the Armor Smith before clearing the Turisan. He gained an extra 2 armor there, I feel. Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't make too much of a difference, but you know, if I lose this game, that definitely will be part of the reason of why I lost. Yeah, so I'd like to hear what you guys think about Legacy, what you guys think about League of Explorers. You know, have you played it? Is it worth the money? That's the main concern for me. Oh, God, how dangerous. Is it worth the money? I'm sure it is worth the money. Oh, okay, that's a nice play. Warrior with an ooze in his deck. Interesting. I think I will just develop Shadowpan, since it sits out of Gorehowl range, And like I always say, the later you sprint, the better. I could have just sprinted that turn and basically skipped the entire turn, but this gives me more flexibility. His Gorehowl does not challenge the Shadow Pan directly. He needs something like a Whirlwind or a Cruel Task or some sort of charge minion or a Slam, but that's still fine because it's costing him a card. Although Slam is a cycle card, it's still better for me that he has to use something extra. Always force your opponent to use something extra if you can, and that involves counting the amount of damage that they're showing on the board and so on and so forth. Okay, I'm not going to deadly this turn. Do I sap? Oh, I could eviscerate. Yeah, I think I do eviscerate. Using my entire turn. I like to use eviscerate defensively. When I say defensively, I mean I like to use removal and spells to protect stuff that I already have on the board, but that's going to be a little unlikely in the next few turns, just thanks to the Gorehowl. I think I do have an Ooze in this deck, and I haven't oozed him yet. Letheb is actually quite strong against sap, but I think do I still sap it? I think I have to. I think I have to sap it, and I will use this as a heal. This isn't a bad minion to send into Gorehowl, since you already any battlecry minion that gains some of its value just from being played is pretty good to send into a warrior weapon. You know, you don't lose the full value of the minion just to the weapon charge. Although I might have considered using the Blood Sail and pushing him and forcing the Gorehowl's attack damage a little bit lower. Hard to say. But yeah, I'm losing it. Okay, finally you give me one. Could have used that about 4 turns ago. I think I'll develop everything. I think I'm still going to fall behind in this game and possibly lose, thanks to him getting like it was like a 3 or 4 for 1. Well, his Gorehowl ended at 4 attack, so 7, 6, 5. He killed 3 minions with the Gorehowl, and then he taxed me the Acidic Swamp Ooze's battle cry. So the Gorehowl did a ton of work, and it's very hard to come back from that. Very hard to get through 2 Sludge Belchers as well. Some sort of control warrior. Anyway. Yeah, I think that was correct. I really need to take a little bit more time to think my turns through. What I was planning to do was a weapon up Deadly and clear one of the sludges by running an Ooze into it and then killing the smaller form. Are you going to clear my force tank for me? That's very helpful of you. I would have definitely gone face. Taunts are there to protect your minions. Okay, well, that's the correct play. KT Warrior. Interesting. KT is a very good card, although very slow. I think we're done. Yeah, we're done. Let's see what we can do. I don't think we can do anything. I can't reach the KT. Yeah, we can't. I can't reach the KT. Not gonna win this one either. Oh well, let's just keep trying. And once again, we dropped down to rank 18. Did we? Yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah, rank 18. Looks like this is where this deck is destined to sit for a while until I decide to bite the bullet and do the arena. And speaking of the arena, that's right. Still waiting on feedback, and I think I will pull the trigger on the arena next video. Yeah, that's right. I'll pull the trigger on the arena next video. I'll just go ahead and decide what to play. Unless I hear something else from you guys. It's a toss-up between a warrior, hunter, and warlock from memory. I could be wrong. And I wonder if the arena run will include League of Explorers cards. Because if they do, I might actually be inclined to pick warrior, because there are a number of good warrior cards for arena. Although warrior is still a little slow, just by virtue of its hero power. But all three of those classes, warrior, hunter, warlock, are a little slow. Warlock not as slow, since life tap, you can life tap on a later mid game turn, 4 or 5 mana, and still play something. Alright, let's see how we go. Haven't really run into any LOE cards, perhaps at different ranking levels. It's a different story. This is some sort of hyper aggressive rogue. Okay. I will develop my Blood Sail. Tempted to weapon up there, but I feel it's a little slow. I much rather use weapons and spell cards as removal. Is he going to double trade into my blood sale? Let's see here. Coin cold blood. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a cold blood coming. Okay, okay. That works too. Backstab. Spending a lot of cards to clear okay, sure. I won't be using the deadly. Oh, the fan is excellent actually. That fan came at the perfect time. And this is the next turn will be great for refreshment. The very best situation for you to play refreshment is when you gain value, you gain the maximum value, and your opponent gains less than maximum value. So ideally, he'd be at 30 health, and I'd be at 26. But me being at 23 and him being at 28, I gain 4, he gains 2, so I come out on top there. Plus, this thing is out of range of the Wicked Knife. So we are sitting pretty... That 4 extra health can often make the difference in an aggro-based race. And that's great because my refreshment challenges the shred up. Now the question is, do I want to use the refreshment or do I want to use backstab dagger? Or I think since this is an aggressive deck, I will use the refreshment and preserve my health. And that's not too bad. What do I do here? I will backstab. Just to get rid of it. I could have weaponed up deadly, but it's a little awkward since I don't have anything left to do with the remaining mana. What I will do now is, yeah, buff and weapon up. And I have 2 fairly prominent minions on the board. Depending on whether he decides to clear them, it's going to cost him a fair amount of health. And we look like we have a fairly strong curve into the late game. Okay, there's the flurry. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Better than oil flurry. Just using the straight flurry to clear my board. I don't know if that's a great play. I have to question whether that's a great play. Because he could have just swung and he had health. Like, he had health to spare. And I will swing this turn. I expect to 4-drop weapon up deadly next turn to clear the SI7, or use the ogre to clear the SI7. Yeah, he had he flurried on a 3/1 deadly dagger. I don't know. It's hard to say. Okay, there's the sap. That's definitely something I should have been expecting. It didn't really cross my mind. Eviscerate. I will spend the eviscerate. I want to protect my health total. No, actually, it's a little awkward. Screw it. I'll sacrifice some of my health total to have a more efficient turn. I'm not super low, but given that he has South Sea deck hands, there's going to be an oil, there's probably going to be a second flurry, but his hand is a little small. So we may come out of this yet, and the eviscerate does a ton of work against this Drake, so I'm kind of glad that I saved it. Okay, Barber. Barber's not too bad. My Gnomish challenges the Barber very neatly. Should have swung there, my friend. Okay, excellent. And I can't afford to tank any more damage, so I'm just going to spend my dagger charges on his face. It could be a mistake. I don't think it will be, since I have Kraken and since I have board control. The first sap has already come out. I wouldn't be too sad to see second sap on the ogre here, since it allows me to develop Kraken with little to no fear of reprisal. Okay. Why are you waiting? See, if you wait, dude, this happens. And then I will fan just to cycle. Has my opponent gone AFK? Because I'm pretty sure I'm threatening lethal now. Yeah, that's 15 and 19 if you can clear the Kraken next turn. So we're actually in a very dominant position. I think my opponent must have gone up AFK or something. That wasn't a line of play that I think that wasn't a reasonable line of play. Why didn't you combo that? Yeah, it's okay. No, it's not going to happen for you. No. Yeah, it must have gone AFK. Don't know what happened there. Let's finish. Well, we always go down to 18 and then we come back to 17. This is the fate of this deck, like I said. So probably next game, next video segment, I will come back and I will do the arenas, and I will pick up the free packs and see what we can do to improve our deck. Okay, so let's wrap it up here. I want to thank you guys in advance for watching, commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing, all those good things. I do this for the love. Like I said, I don't have any disposable income. Any gesture of appreciation from you guys means a lot to me, makes me feel very good. So until next time, I'd like to wish you guys a happy day and a happy weekend, just as I'm quickly coming up onto the weekend. So until next time, guys, this is No Dust signing off.